On today's episode, something weird is happening at Tesla, Walmart takes delivery of a new semi, and the Optimus bot gets an update. Alright, just what the hell is actually going on around Tesla these days? Has Elon Musk lost his mind, or is he simply staking his claim as the greatest business innovator of the 21st century? Well, it depends on who you ask. This one is going to get controversial just by the nature of the subject, but let's talk about it. Tesla has been continuing on a pretty significant round of company-wide layoffs. Even over the past weekend, more people were let go from the software, service, and engineering departments. They join about 10% of factory workers, some top senior executives, most of the people responsible for battery cathode manufacturing at Giga Texas, and apparently everybody responsible for Tesla's Supercharging division. This is the one that is really stirring the pot right now. Tesla even went as far as cutting their summer internship program just weeks before college students from across the country were supposed to arrive at the company. And to make matters even stranger, the remaining senior executive at Tesla, Tom Zhu, has moved out of Texas and returned to China, leaving Elon seemingly alone in the midst of a power vacuum. Throughout the reduction process, we've heard varying explanations from Elon Musk as to why people are being let go. This has led to some confusion, but I think this is the first issue that we can start to clear up. The first wave of layoffs seems to have been primarily in factory workers at Giga Texas. Elon explained this at the time as being due to Tesla's fast headcount growth over the last few years, resulting in hiring inefficiencies and role duplication. Then Tesla started adding some big names to the list. We lost Drew Baglino, the head of powertrain and energy engineering, but really he was a lot more than that. Drew was like a right-hand man to Elon Musk. The two of them were always on stage together to deliver important updates. Most of us saw Drew as a natural leader for Tesla if anything ever happened to Elon, and apparently we were wrong, not for the first time. After these higher-profile departures, which on the public-facing side appeared to be voluntary or at least mutual, Elon told investors that this was all about restructuring for the next phase of growth. Then things got weird when the entire team behind Tesla's Supercharging network was apparently let go in one fell swoop. This included Tesla's head of charging infrastructure, Rebecca Tanucci. You might remember her from Tesla's Investor Day last year. She was talking about how her team was working to maximize the efficiency of the Tesla charging experience, with a focus on reducing the time customers spent charging, reducing congestion at the charging stations, and onboarding new vehicle manufacturers like Ford and Rivian into the Supercharger network. It all sounded like the kind of stuff that you would want to hear. This is where we see a change in tone from Elon's explanations. According to an internal email that was released through the media, Elon seemingly made an example of these people like a public execution to make sure that everyone at the company understands how serious he is about change. This is a passage from the released email. Hopefully, these actions are making it clear that we need to be absolutely hardcore about headcount and cost reduction. While some on exec staff are taking this seriously, most are not yet doing so. So, we've gone from only firing people who were hired by accident and not really needed to restructuring leadership for a new phase of growth to hardcore cost cutting. Now, I don't think this is Elon changing his story. I think that each explanation was true at the time it was said for each phase of the reduction process. Let's double back on Supercharging for a sec, because this is the one that is really sticking with people. It's making a lot of Tesla owners nervous, because while most EV drivers charge at home, most of the time when you do need to charge on the go, you need that system to be reliable and effective. Elon wrote on X, Tesla still plans to grow the Supercharger network, just at a slower pace for new locations and more focus on 100% uptime and expansions of existing locations. And the slower growth rate was almost instantly illustrated by Tesla pulling out of 4 new Supercharger locations around New York City that were about to begin construction. These new stations were reportedly being built to address the specific surge in demand created by Uber drivers using Tesla vehicles in New York. Last year, the city introduced a new law called Green Rides Initiative. It mandates that any newly licensed ride-sharing vehicle in the city needs to be electric. It's been reported that this change has already resulted in a 10-fold increase for EV charger utilization in New York City. Of course, rideshare vehicles are going to need supercharging much more than the average driver, combined with the fact that most people in NYC don't have the infrastructure available to charge at home. Anyway, that seems like the kind of problem that could probably use a team of experienced people to solve. Now, if there's any reasonable explanation for this, it might be that the deal has already been done for mass adoption of Tesla's charging system, now known as the North American Charging Standard, to roll out into virtually every new EV sold in America after 2025, which would mean that the pressure is kind of off Tesla to be the exclusive provider of charging infrastructure to their vehicle owners. If every car is using NACS, then every EV charging provider is going to have to include native NACS connectors in their charging stations, so the Electrify Americas and Revels of the world will see that opportunity to step in and take advantage of that new market. In fact, they already have. The EV fast charging and ride-hailing service Revel has already stepped in to take over the NYC charging stations that were abandoned by Tesla. So what just happened here is that the charging infrastructure problem is still being fixed, and Tesla isn't going to be the one dealing with it anymore. So if we go back to Elon's thought process for a second here, was the Tesla charging team performing a redundant job? Was there a need to restructure in the face of a rapidly changing situation? Was there an opportunity to cut costs? I'm not saying that what Elon is doing here is totally correct, but there might be a method to the madness. That's just one example, but there are probably many more lessons that can be extracted from this. Sometimes change is the only way to move forward. Sometimes change means having one of your writers read the news video and everyone thinks he's a robot. He's not, but in almost all cases, change is uncomfortable and it can sometimes get messy, so we'll just have to see where this goes. A new Tesla Semi has been spotted in the wild, and this one is towing a Walmart-branded trailer. Ex-user Accelerating Tech posted photos of the truck over the weekend, saying that it was spotted in Stockton, California. In addition to the Semi towing a Walmart trailer, the Tesla cab includes branding that says Walmart Transportation LLC, suggesting that the retailer has officially taken delivery of the vehicle as Tesla expands pilot programs beyond its initial deliveries to PepsiCo in 2022. We know that Walmart is one of the biggest pre-order holders for the Tesla Semi, with at least 130 trucks known to be on reserve. This is part of Walmart's company-wide goal to reach zero emissions by 2040, so they're going to need a lot more electric trucks. If Tesla can meet the demand with Semi production, then it would be a massive win. The Tesla Semi has been showing some promising results in early pilot programs at Pepsi, with the vehicle reaching over 1,000 miles in a single day in one test. We also know that Tesla has provided a small fleet of semis to the restaurant supply company Martin Brower, also opening in the Stockton area. It was reported that just 2 vehicles were provided to the company so far, but they were well received by the 5 drivers who were trained to operate them. During its Q1 earnings call last week, Tesla said that more semi-deliveries are expected for late 2025, while the company expects to begin external customer deliveries in 2026. In addition, Tesla broke ground on expansions to its Gigafactory Nevada in January, set to help increase semi-production, as well as the production of the 4680 battery cell. Earlier this week, Tesla shared a new video of the Optimus bot working in the company's robotics laboratory. The bot was performing some pretty impressive hand movements by sorting battery cells into a tray, although the pace of its work left a lot to be desired. These probably won't be replacing any departed factory workers anytime soon, but Elon Musk was quick to follow up with an update on the Optimus design, specifically when it comes to the robot's hands. Elon says that by later this year, Optimus will have 22 degrees of freedom in the hand. That's an upgrade from the current 11 degrees of freedom. In robotics, a degree of freedom is basically just how many directions the mechanism can move, so left and right, up and down, that's 2 degrees. Add rotation, that's 3 degrees. Now look at your hand and try to figure out all of the different directions that you can move, probably more than 22. But honestly, the Tesla bot's hand and finger movement is already very impressive with 11 degrees of freedom, so an upgrade would be nice, but it's really the speed and usefulness that we are wanting to see improve over the course of this year. Elon says that he thinks these bots could be performing useful tasks in Tesla factories by the end of the year and could be on the market for external use by the end of next year, though Elon also clarified that these are just guesses and he is historically very bad at predicting timelines, so stay tuned.